All aboard!
Hello, and now then, I'm thinking of doing something a little different, as envisaged on the title, and I'm thinking of doing a series on model painting, ranging from the basics to more complicated techniques, and I'm running you through what you need from the very beginning, with types of paint like acrylics and enamels like Umbral, and I'll discuss why nowadays mostly I've changed over to acrylics. I used to be on Umbral enamels when I first started, but now nearly all, well, pretty much all my paints are acrylic. And the reason I do that is pure and simple. The range of acrylics is never ending compared to enamels. The options you have are astronomical. The firms that cater for you, they do effects paints, layer paints, all sorts of different paints. Like if there's an effect there that you want to achieve, it'll be in acrylic paints, I'll guarantee it. From terrific ranges like Citadel, AK Interactive are doing some good paints nowadays. Vallejo have an astronomical range. Umbral do a range, but I'd stay clear. Revel do a range that is very underrated, a lot don't rate Revel acrylic, whereas I think the Aqua are astounding paints. They're fantastic in both how much they're hard wearing, how pigmented they are, and there's a lot to go into with paints. And I'm making it an in-depth because a lot of people, you just see them apply it and they don't tell you what's involved with paint, etc. It may be boring to some, it may be fascinating to some. But in the first place here, what we'll do, more or less every paint has pigments in it. And your pigments is a powder. It goes in every paint, unless they use an ink, but some very few paints use ink. They mostly powder pigments in them, which are very finely ground colour pigments. Your basic titanium powder is a mined mineral, and most of it's mined in Australia for titanium white. And then what happens with that, it goes into a binding medium, say an acrylic, to give it, when it dries, its toughness, and holds the, it actually holds the pigment together and bonds it to your surface, and also gives the tough, durable finish. So that is basically what your carrier is for the pigment. And you also get some form of dilutant. They're all diluted to a degree, whether it be oil, well, enamel paints use oil-based dilutants like Terps, etc. Acrylics use water. You can use IPA, screen wash with them. But also there's the spirit-based paints like Tamiya. There's only really Tamiya that's a spirit-based paint, and it's a very good paint if you use it through an airbrush or for painting small details. If you're using it brush painted on a larger area, it becomes less of a good paint. It's suitable for airbrush or small areas. And then once you get away from paints, I'll go into paints in more detail when I'm doing them, I can show them and stuff. But brushes, you have an array of brushes to do different effects, I can show that. You have what, rounds, because I'm an artist, I know brushes inside out. You've got rounds, flats, filberts, fan brushes. You've got all sorts of brushes. You've got rigger brushes. You've got all sorts for making different finishes, and there's different painting techniques as well. Like I'll be demoing painting backgrounds if people are interested. Then you get into scumbling, wetting wet blends and stuff like that. You get dry brushing. Well, dry brushing is more for details on the actual model, but like I said, there's so many things, and I've never really seen anyone cover it in depth, just say use this paint for this, and they don't fully go into why and how it works. And like even what you're doing when you're weathering and you're using weathering powder. Effectively, weathering powder is paint pigment with no carrier or dilutant. You just put in the bare paint pigment on, which I've got paint pigments, I can show that on the way today. But I'll go through making things cheaply. Like you've got wet palettes. You don't have to go out and spend a fortune on wet palettes. That's my wet palette. It's basically a Tupperware box with a dish sponge underneath and some baking parchment. That's all you need. It works by if you're painting in acrylics and you want your acrylics to stay fresh longer, you use a wet palette. You put your acrylic, you take a tiny bit of your acrylic out of your paint pot, put it into there, or dot it in with your bottle, and then that'll keep it workable. Obviously if you have a lid, you can keep it workable for a couple of days rather than wasting paint. And that's another thing, the difference, that why I stopped using enamels. Why I stopped using enamels, a lot of people will tell you, oh they're great, they're really robust paint finish, it'll take lots of wear and that. How much wear exactly do you want on a model you hardly touch? You don't, it's negligible. Fair enough if you've got a model boat or a remote control car that's getting bashes and bangs and stuff, but most of the time what you'll do is you'll paint your loco, and then you'll give it a coat of acrylic varnish. So it's under varnish anyway. So there's a lot of misconceptions about paint and bad guides on it, and what you can use, what you can't use, what you can use over this, what you can use over that. I can give a lot of, like, I'll even cover airbrushing, background painting, painting locals. I'm beginning to wonder if the other train's stopped. I've not seen it round for a bit. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's stopped up there. Give him a bit more power. And maybe a nudge of the board. There we go, we're off again. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff talked about on paint. Like I've had years over the years of painting models. I've been an artist painting portraits, backgrounds. I've painted custom vans, like roof murals on the inside of custom vans. I painted a galaxy scene for a VW van for its roof panel inside, because the remit with the guy, he said I want to lie down and I want it to look like I'm looking into outer space, because they were into astronomy and stuff like that. So I did that for him. I've done all sorts of painting really over the years, like say involving airbrush, and I've got paintings all over the place in foreign lands, all over the place in UK. And they're all received happily, so. But yeah. I can cover stuff like masking. There's so much to cover in painting. Like I said, there are some that will still swear by enamel, and I don't know why. It's an outdated system. If anybody was starting today painting and modelling, I'd advise acrylics. You'd be silly not to. There's such a vast range. They're easier to work with. They come in better bottles, dropper bottles. You can't beat them for using with airbrush. Drop a couple of drops into your wet palette like that. You're not using a brush or a scoop to get them out the tin. They're not smelly. Like enamels are smelly. They don't take ages to dry acrylic. Like I say, my first recommendation would be acrylic. Without any way, shape. No, start again. Without any doubts about it, and go for acrylic. Don't get me wrong, I used to love enamels. And I had a box full of enamels. But then, Hornby, in all the wisdom, sent manufacturing to China. And, well, Umbro, which is part of the Hornby group anyway, they send the manufacturing to China, and quality plummeted. I was buying colours that bore no way, shape or form resemblance to what were on the tin or what it was meant to be. I was buying colours that were more oil than pigment, and they settled out rapid. It wasn't like the old Umbro colours. The oil was, the pigment were at the bottom of the tin, and you could see through the clear oil to the pigment, and that was never the old Umbro oil paint. None of the old Umbro oil paint were like that. It was the shit you were getting from China. And I'm afraid to say it's why I won't buy a lot of Hornby products. They've got cheap shit Chinese production with almost zero quality control. So if it's very rare, I'll buy an Hornby product. So if you're listening in, Hornby, get your act together. Instead of introducing a new scale, up your quality control. Get somebody to look at things instead of just putting them in boxes and getting them out to your customer as quick as you can to make a buck. We're not stupid, we know that's what you do. But yeah, it's a long and complex subject then that people, they try to simplify it too much, and it's nowhere near as simple as you think at first. Well, it's one of them things, it is simple and it isn't, because I can go into colour theory as well, using the colour wheel and for doing your colours. Like say for instance, if you haven't got black, I can tell you how to make black if you don't have black in an emergency. If you're painting things, never resort to pure titanium white or to pure black. Always use either a grey or beige white or a very dark grey, because things in life are very rarely pure white or pure black, because they are, once you've gone down to a pure black or up to a pure white, you've extended as far as you can go with your colours. You can't then use a black wash to give low light. You can't use a white dry brush to give highlight. You're pretty much exhausted. Say white, if you do it pure white, you've exhausted how far you can come up with that to put in highlights after. Anyway, I think that'll do for this episode. I don't know what I'll cover in the first episode. We'll wait and see, but I plan to do painting and weathering wagons, painting locos, painting back scenes, just general painting, and give tips as I go along. Anyway, thanks for watching, and catch you in my first one of these paint videos, and I really need to do another build video. I've got a few on my workbench I should be finishing on. My closest is an Hornby Double Class 20, so I think that'll be my first one out. Anyway, tatty pie people.